This lesson will show us how to work with interval notation. This is brand new for us, so we will go through several examples and you'll understand, hopefully, how to work with this by the end. So if you look at this, it says express using interval notation. Right now it's an inequality. So you would read that as x is greater than or equal to -9. You would graph that like on a single number line. You would have your -9, -8, and -7, or -10, sorry, one on either side of your number, and I would put a closed circle because it's greater than or equal to, and you want all the numbers that are larger, so you shade to the right. Remember, you may have heard this trick before, but the arrow points to the right, so that tells you which way to shade. So x is greater than or equal to -9. It means it includes -9. The interval to show that would be that it includes, it's a bracket, and you would have -9, and it goes all the way up till infinity. It never ends, so you would use your infinity sign and a open, like just a parentheses to let us know that's going to continue on forever. So one thing you could see is that they ask you to express it in inequality notation, and they give you the interval. So here, it's an interval notation, and this union sign you haven't seen before, but that just means we're joining two arrangements of things. So we're going to include the left one and the right one. So for me, it helps if I start with my number line. So here's my number line. I need to make a much smaller number line. And I'm going to go from -infinity to -2. So this closed bracket here tells me that I am going to be using -2. I'm going to include -2. So I'll put a solid dot here because I'm including, and it goes all the way down to -infinity. So I shade to the left with an arrow. I pick it back up again, so I'll mark that -2. Pick it back up again at 7. So if you go here, you can say, oh, 7. I've got that square bracket again. So when I have that square bracket, I know that means I'm including 7. I'd have a closed circle, and I'm going to go all the way up to infinity. Once I have that visualized, it's easier for me to say, oh, I'm looking at all the x's that are less than or equal to -2, and I'm also looking at all the x's that are greater than or equal to 7. So we're considering x is less than or equal to -2, or x is greater than or equal to 7. So that's another way they could ask. So in this one, you're going to see two sets of normal parentheses. So looking here, I've got a normal set of parentheses at both the top and the bottom end. So what that means is I'm not going to include either the -11 or the -2. Right now, this is interval notation. Should I want to include them, I would write it like this. I'll just put this in a gray. -11 and -2 would include them. If I wanted to include the -11, but not include the -2, I would do this. So we're going to look at the one that is in the darker black, and I will make my number line. So I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to go from -11 to -2, and then I know I'm not including them, so I'm going to put an open circle, and I will connect the spots. So that would be how I would write it on a number line. And then to change it to, see how it says inequality notation, I use that number line to help me write inequality notation. I want all the x's that are smaller than -2 but not equal to it. And I want all the x's that are bigger than -11 but not equal to it. So it's the x's that are between -11 and -2. In this problem, we're being asked to graph the interval represented. We're so used to graphing on the coordinate plane with x and y. You might originally think that, but no, we just want a number line. And this interval notation is saying we're going all the way down to the bottom with our -infinity, and we can have that, oh yeah, we're going to keep going, -infinity never ends. But on the top part, we want to include -9. So that's what that square bracket means. It means we include it, so that means we have a solid circle. So when we do that, we are going to say, okay, so it starts at -9. It gets a solid circle, and it goes all the way down to -infinity. Let's look at one more way they can ask. So for this last one, it's already graphed for you and they want it in interval notation. So when you hear interval notation, you want to think, oh, that means the bracket, the parenthesis, the union, and that's how we start. So what we want to do is take a look at that number line and see, well, what's included and what's not included? What are my boundary points? I know this keeps going all the way down to negative infinity. And I know this one keeps going all the way up to positive infinity. So basically, my spots that I'm including are from here to here and from here to here. I'm including both of these, so I use that term union that we learned before. So I know it's going to be a union. So I'm going to say, well, negative infinity is going to keep on going forever and ever, so it has that parenthesis. We have a closed circle here, so we're going to get the bracket, and it's on -6. Union. 5 is not included, so we're just going to have an open parenthesis, like a normal parenthesis with 5. And then we stop at positive infinity. It keeps going, so it gets that bracket. So this is what it would look like with our interval notation.